We'll skip that, we'll come back to the meeting minutes at the end. We'll hit, Eric.
Hi, my name is Eric Kelly. I'm with the North Vernon Kiwanis Club. The North Vernon Kiwanis Club started in March of 1977. So next spring is going to be our 50th anniversary. And to commemorate that, we want to do another big project that helps kids. And throughout the, so far, 49 years, going on 50, we've done Key Club at high school, Builders Club at the middle school, K-Kids at the elementary, and to help kids learn leadership skills, help them learn to be servant leaders. We do bring up grades program in all the elementary school kids, recognizing kids need some positive reinforcement. A few years ago, we put in the learning trail at the city park when they built a new pool. It got pulled out and got replanted over at Tripton Park. And then just this past spring, we repainted everything to make it continue to look good. With that in mind, one of our focuses has been on early learning to read and getting kids to read. We would like to put up a storybook trail at the city park. Ideally, I have a couple locations that I'll talk about in a second. But we have a park, we've talked with the library, and they're willing to print, it's about an 18 by 24 metal post, similar to this podium, but we can either do a single post or we can do a double post. But the placard's 18 by 24 with a removable bottom. So that way that the story can be changed on a regular basis. And talking with the library, they're willing to work with us to do the printing and being able to slide the new storybooks into the frame. And the posts are about 30 inches, so it's at probably midpoint about 2 feet, 24 inches or so. It would either be black in color, or the other option is the National Park Service brown, but that doesn't necessarily match anything we have. So black would be the color of metal. We're going to fund it all. This is why we're in Kiwanis. We want kids to have a better opportunity. We want them to learn those things. So whether through grants or through us raising money, we're going to fund it all. We just need the location and your approval. A couple places that we were thinking about was along the old tennis courts next to the new playground equipment, kind of along that curve. There would probably be, we're thinking 15 or 16 posts, because that's about the length of the storybook, and it kind of depends on, can we get one more and get a price break, we get 16. So somewhere in that 15 to 16 range number of posts, so going around the fence line. Biggest issue like I see with it would be mowing it up. Like right now, it looks like they can get a mower on the side of the fence. So how that would want to be structured and how you guys would want to have it set up. The other option that I took a picture of in the day I picture, but I don't have color prints to print it out on. But around the old playground, there's the grassy area that you can almost do kind of a loop. And so the kids, as they're playing, they can take a break and they can walk and read the storybooks around that little smaller playgrounds.
So is there like a beginning location, ending location, or is it just you can kind of put it however you want? Or
it would be, since it's a storybook, there would be a beginning and an end. So whether you want it to beginning in one spot and the end in that spot, or flip-flop, it would be chronological to the pages of the book. So it wouldn't be like the learning trail where you can go do the number hopscotch, or you could do the shapes, or you could do the hearing, with the letters that are all independent of each other. This would be if you've been to, I don't remember the park in Seymour that has a pool, but they have one that it's permanent. So every time I walk by this, the story's been the same. And granted, that's been 5-10 years ago, but like every time we had gone, it was the same story. And there was one in Greenwood, and we had friends up there. Their story changed, so we went and we saw it, and the next time we went up, it was a different story. That we thought that was a neat idea. We wanted to make sure that that story would change, because I know my kids like to read the same story every night, but if you're going to the park, then it needs to change on a regular basis.
Is the changing of the story something that you guys would do, or
That's something that we
work together?
Yeah, it would be probably something that we would do. We have a mixture of young members and then retired members, so we would contact the library, and our thought is probably once a month during the busy season, and then maybe one or two over the winter season. So probably about 10 to 12 stories a year is our guess, our plan, and we pull it off and put it on.
So you're essentially just here asking for permission to put these in.
Yeah.
Could you say
We're going-
no funding or anything?
No, like, we're going to need your help in making sure, like, wherever we put the holes, to put the concrete in, and however you want it to look. Like that's, we'll give you the full mock-up, everything, but.
I don't see any issue. No reason not to.
No,
I think
I,
it's a cool idea.
I'm in full support of it. I think you, Bobby, need to get together and kind of figure out the logistics of it, where you want it. And we're gonna have a lot of changes on those playgrounds.
Yeah, we're gonna, with the new playground going in, the playground is really, maybe wait and see what that looks like, where the winter next year, you said?
March of next year.
Yeah, so we'll be done with that.
So it'll work out well with that new addition, probably.
I think
Probably incorporate it.
you guys just work together and figure out where to put it. I don't think we see any issue with
No, no, it's a great idea.
just work together and get that. Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
Jordan?
I don't know if I can top him, man, he's good at talking. That was a good speech. Basically, last year, you guys wouldn't let me coach my kids in baseball and soccer, so all I'm doing is asking permission to be allowed to coach them.
We have a policy. I don't think does he meet the policy of the background check and
Yeah.
So that's what, we went through this process before, and so when anyone with questionable history, it actually goes to our board, and it goes, I mean, I can share you the whole process, but it basically comes to a vote if there's anything with that, and at the end of the day, it was voted down that you didn't pass the background check based on our policy. And that's where it currently stands now, too.
Me and Bailey talked on the phone and reviewed like my pass or whatever, and she said that it all passes the background part.
So,
Well, I don't think I said that. I said we have a policy in place now that we follow for this year. I know last year was a little more questionable because we were still trying to get our feet underneath of us at the start of the year. But with the policy, there's certain like backgrounds you can and can't have. Misdemeanors are within the last 7 years and felonies are within the last 10 years. I think when I went back and looked at your background, because I didn't check it, there were a couple of them that fall within the like 7-year misdemeanor charge.
so I also want to be clear, like, the policy isn't, there are disqualifying crimes, right? But you could potentially still not pass a background check even without a disqualifying crime. There could be someone with a certain history within so many years, just like Bailey just mentioned, that we would bring to the board and we would discuss. And, in that moment, we don't necessarily share names or anything, but it's voted yea or nay. And where it was at the last vote, it was a nay. So as of right now, and for this year, you did not pass the background check.
So we're gonna do like a revote or something, because I see you guys always trying to find coaches, so I'm trying to volunteer, then you guys put in coaches that really don't know what they're doing, instead of having someone that actually knows what they're talking about,
So
teaching kids.
to answer the first question, you're more than welcome to put your name in the hat every single time that change, and you're gonna go through the process every single time. And so, well, I wanna talk about this just for a second. But I've seen you out there working with your kids, and I think you care. But there are certain things that when we make certain decisions in life that we have to have consequences for. And the consequence in this case is probably time. And so I know when I talked to you last year on the phone, I had mentioned, if you looked at maybe 2027 or 2028 coming back, it might look different than it does right now, right? Based on the timing of the charges. And so I think that was what we had our conversation about whenever I got to talk to you. And I know right now, again, you're more than welcome to put your name in the hat, and it's going to come right to the board for a background check every single time. But based on the policy the way it is now, I have a feeling that the result for right now is not going to change. And that doesn't mean it doesn't change next year or the year after. But
So how do I put my name in this hat? This is like a yearly thing at the beginning of the year,
You would just register as normal online where it asks like, are you interested in coaching, yes or no, and like fill out that, like you're interested. And basically what I do is I check all of them, and anybody with a history that comes up, I do bring to the board. Anyone that falls like against our policy.
My thing is, the part of ball is to make kids better. That's the whole point of having meets and stuff. When there's coaches out there that don't even know what they're doing, they're just doing it because the kids on the team. All the other kids are not learning anything either. So, when you got someone who actually played sports his whole life that wants to coach his kids and gets denied because of his past, it's not understanding. But I was one coming here to talk about it. So.
I agree. I mean, it's up sometimes, but I mean, I also coaching youth sports and coaching in general to me is a privilege. And there are some things that you can do to temporarily not have earned that privilege, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's where it's at. And it's not that you don't know what you're doing. It has nothing to do with that. Like I said, I've seen you out there working with kids. And I think you care. And, I think a lot of good things. I want to see more parents out there doing that with their kids. But there are certain things sometimes you make a decision. You have to maybe just wait a little bit and
Just keep pushing on to be a coach every time.
I think if you want to coach, I don't think you should ever quit trying. But at the same time, the process, we got to go through the process, and that, the process is what it is. So if you put it in and you don't pass it again, and we don't want to get upset about it, but we have to,
I
do
you
it
guys,
bad.
yeah, you guys got a job to do. So I was just trying to coach. That's all.
I completely understand. I 100% do. I understand where you're coming from. So.
And I do just want to add in as well, just even in this past year, we have had to, I've had to call people and let them know they cannot coach due to their background. So they all have to go through the process, and unfortunately sometimes that's just the answer.
10-year background, that's a long time when people can change. I feel like 10 years, that's real.
It's not all 10 years, and we've, as a board, and we've discussed the policy, and the policy that we have in place isn't.
There is a new policy, and then we can email it to you so you can see, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there is a new policy in place that we put in place.
If you'd like to, I can email it to you and share that with you if you have any questions over.
No, I trust you guys' word on that. Yes. I'm done with my talk. No, this one. That's it. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan.
Try to get it.
No,
Oh, they did.
they didn't make it past me, sorry. Programming, go ahead, Bailey.
Okay, in your little packet there, I did put a summary of baseball and softball since that has concluded. I think the only expenses I'm missing from those is like what we spent on July 4th weekend. which would have just been like ice and water and stuff for the umpires and players and whatnot. So I might be short a little bit on expenses, but it should be pretty close. So you can see in the softball summary, if we did have an actual softball supervisor that was getting paid out of that budget, we would be in the negatives again, but not quite as much as last year. So you can see that. And then in baseball, if my calculations are right, it looks like we are in the positive. So, that is in large part due to our increase in baseball registrations this year and increase in sponsorship revenue. I think that had a lot to do with it. So,
I had just one question, like the team sponsorships for baseball was 12, and only 3 for softball?
well, so the athletic sponsorship that you see there,
Yeah.
that is a team sponsor. I just separated them out because they did the full athletic sponsorship, which covered all the sports for the year. So you would put those together like,
So we had 17 team sponsorships for softball and 26 for baseball?
yes, and you would even want to add the shirt sponsorship as well, because that is sponsoring a team. They just don't need the banner and the outfit for it. So,
Okay.
so yeah, you would add those 3 together
Okay.
to get your full like number of sponsors. So yeah, if you guys have any thoughts or anything on that, those are the numbers.
How did July 4th go?
Pretty well, I believe, considering the heat and all of that. I know we did run behind on some games. I think we will need to, Bobby and I kind of revise some of our rules, I think, to help with some of that, that happened this year. Just to make sure that things run a little bit smoother as far as like game time. And especially matters when we have more teams. So like compared to last year, like if we had the same issue this year that we did last year, we would have had a lot more time. But this year, because we had so many more teams, which caused more games, there was not a lot of like flexibility in that schedule if things did run behind. So I think if we just work together on kind of looking at the rules and seeing how we can mitigate that, I think that will help.
I'll be honest, I thought it went great. We got behind, but
We got
when you
behind.
go
That
to
happens.
we also did not use dirt fields for like even losing track games or anything, so like there are some simple changes we can make that honestly, for the most part, my perspective was it went really well. Yeah, sure, we got behind, but I don't think
Was it
that's.
better for fireworks?
One
No.
game wasn't, or one week wasn't.
No, we had finished the next one afterwards, and we had a rain/lightning delay, and so we actually didn't get finished till about midnight.
But they probably love that, right? The kids probably love it.
Because more like, it was, again,
I think that's just part of hosting an outdoor event.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
well, and they only got behind because they went in extra innings earlier in the day. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of wiggle room in the schedule for that kind of stuff, so that's why it ended up that way.
I
But
talked to some of the vendors and they seemed very happy.
yeah, I thought that whole area went well. We added the porta potties this year, which I think went really well. It was worth having those out there for that. And yeah, everything was pretty good.
I heard a couple comments, and this may just be random people's opinion. The fireworks were a little slow. I wasn't.
Oh, I heard positive things about this.
Which was surprising because all we heard last year, 2025, was how great it was.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and like I said, I was in Florida, it was just random text. But
I even
I don't know, it could be.
I was
just
joking back and
with
forth a couple times, turning off lights on court, they were turning on too.
we had a Pepsi vendor come by the park like the week after, and he actually told me how good the fireworks were.
No, that's-
And I was like, oh,
Like I said, it was one or two people,
Right,
and you get
yeah.
random texts.
Yeah.
Some of those people, you're never gonna make that big stuff.
I talked to a couple people that I thought would be pretty honest with me, and they thought it was, they didn't have anything to say about fireworks. But, yeah, that's the first I heard of that.
But like I said, it could just been one or two people.
You don't have to say.
No, I'm just,
Okay.
listen.
It's fine, I just know we
You're
don't
not gonna hurt our
mention
feelings.
that. So.
You guys are what we say too.
You're on the clock.
It's cool in here, isn't it?
If there's no more questions on 4th of July, I'll go ahead and move on.
Okay.
Kickball, so we originally had the 2 youth age groups separated into 2, so 7 to 10-year-olds and 11 to 15. We had almost 40 in that 7 to 10, but we only had, I think like a little bit less than 20 in that middle age group. So I went ahead and combined them so that we would have enough to run like a full league. So we have 5 kickball teams, that's 56 kids registered. So if everybody pays, once we apply a $15 fee, that should bring in $840 of registration revenue from that. We will not be running the 16 and up league. We only had one 16-year-old sign up for it. So
When does this start?
it will start August 11th, so the week after school starts, and run for 4 weeks.
So is there, can we reach out if you want to get more people? Can we reach out to the churches?
Well, I don't know.
How are you making teams?
I created the teams for the youth. For the adult one, I was gonna let them.
Put a team in.
Yeah, the registration wasn't set up for that, but I had a couple people ask me about it, and I was like, if you just put in the notes, we want on your team, I'll make sure you guys are together. Because I know the adult league is a little bit different, like, they want to play with the people that don't. I did already order the shirts for the youth. I don't know if it's worth trying to put out there again, in such short notice.
I just want to make sure you.
Next year you can get a little bit of a head start.
Yeah, because this definitely was kind of thrown together last minute this year, so I'll be able to organize it better and like I said, kind of word the adult one a little bit differently and set up the registration differently so that they can sign up a whole team and then pay like their own team fee instead of like an individual registration.
What nights is it going to be on?
It'll be on Tuesday nights, and it'll only be on the 2 little fields, 5:30 and 6:30 start times. Fall soccer registrations are still open for that up until August 9th. We currently have 86 registered, and that's like between all the age groups. I still need to hire a soccer supervisor for that, and it will most likely be Nick Trulock. If you guys know anybody who can referee soccer, fall is always harder to get because all the high school kids are in the season. So if you guys know anybody who would be willing to help, that would be great, because Nick Trulock was he was a referee last year in the spring, and if he's supervising, he can't referee. So
Is boys and girls soccer both in the?
it's co-ed.
No, like at the high school.
Oh, yes, they're
It's
both in
both
the
in
season, yeah. So we'll see how that goes. We're gonna make a post on Facebook saying that we're looking for referees, so hopefully that helps.
Maybe reach out to the Scott United.
Yeah.
They might have some kids that might be interested.
And then we have fall baseball and softball registrations open right now until September 1st. There's currently 102 registered for baseball and 40 registered for softball. And I just noted that. I know Bobby and I supervised it last year when it was in August. Obviously, we'll have to basically do that again, depending on how many teams there are and all that. Will depend on how many nights a week they play. So, fall disc
How
golf.
much longer is the registration open for that?
September 1st. Yeah. Fall disc golf, an adult league. That registration will open on Monday, July 20th, and run through August 26th. The league itself will be on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. at Tripton, September 2nd through October 7th. So that's a 6-week league. So we'll see how that one goes. I know we didn't have a ton of players in it last year. I'm hoping we get some more this year. So, I originally had family fun walks on the calendar. for this year. However, I personally made the decision to remove that because I just simply can't commit myself to doing another thing in the evening, by myself. So, since we moved baseball and softball to October, I decided to just remove that from the calendar.
Was there anybody in that group that would have like organized and led them? I don't know how many people you had. It's just a thought.
It was like, I think 5, the first night was, I had the most people, it was about 15, and then it dwindled down to like 5. So, I mean, I could ask.
Doesn't Jeff Walker do something similar to?
What is it?
Doesn't Jeff Walker do something similar?
He does the summer walks program, and I was last year basically just trying to do an extension of that. And a couple of the ladies that did that in the summer helped me with it last year. So I mean, I could ask them again, but it would be a volunteer basis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just put it out there that if they want to continue it, here's the reins, and run with it.
Yeah, so, and then next thing is the Healthy Issues Grant, that ended June 30th. You guys can see a breakdown on the second page of the attendance of everything that we ran through that this year. Overall, much better numbers compared to last year's participation. So I was very happy to see that. Other than we had a couple cancellations, couldn't get the tennis clinic to go through with the weather. And then the youth pickleball clinic, I just didn't have enough kids sign up to run it. I've been struggling to find instructors for pickleball regardless, because I was gonna do a youth clinic and an adult clinic, and I just couldn't find people to commit to a day and time for it, so there's that. And then the last thing I have on here is, I know we talked about it a couple meetings ago, the Hometown Harvest Festival at Tripton Park. I did have one update on the live performances. It will actually be the Woodshop Boys, so not the person that I talked about at the last meeting. They are set to play that evening from 5 to 8, but I am looking for like a local group to do like an opening act from like 1 to 2. It'll be like a 12 to 8 event. So if you guys know any local groups, I was kind of searching for like a youth group of some
For like
kind
a really young adult.
to draw more people there during the day. Because a lot of people come watch their kids perform and whatever it may be. So I was kind of hoping to go that route.
So you had the coach over there and reached out.
I
to
haven't
them.
reached out to anyone
Okay,
yet.
I reached out to them and then they approached the high school about maybe the next class and
Yeah.
see if they want to put something together for a combined effort for an hour or 2.
Those are 2 separate groups.
Yeah, Rena Boche is the middle school and then Dutch class is the high school.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so I still am looking for that. And then the rest of this is just kind of like thoughts and ideas. I'm starting to kind of finally put a pen to paper on this. Food trucks who have told me yes via email are listed there. That email was sent several months ago though, so I do need to reach back out. One thing we need to think about with this is, are we going to have them pay a vendor fee? I know we talked about it last time of like, this is a first time event, we don't know how many people are gonna show. So,
I'd say like, you don't want to charge them $30 and maybe 50 people.
and a lot of it's gonna be based on weather, and I know it's a hard time of year, so.
I think you said the expectation of we're going to let it go this year and then we'll see how this event goes. And then we'll revisit that before next year's event.
Agree.
That would be my
You don't
suggestion.
want, I would prefer them to show up than.
Yes, absolutely, because some of these vendors will bring their own people that follow them, that are big fans of theirs.
Yeah.
So that's good for the event.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Where's the play?
So, I don't know if you guys remember the map that I showed you guys last time, but basically like
They were out there
directly
grass.
in front, well, they'll be sitting on the pavement or path or whatever, and like surfing towards the grass. But that first straightaway, 61, would be where they'd be like that. I just need to map out how much room that takes up for 5 and I want a 6-1. I want to get a 6-1 of dessert of some kind. So there's that. The other thing I put was sugar strands, question mark. Do we want to have them come out again and be paid for their services so that it's free to the community like we did before? I do have room in the budget that I have for this event, so I'm not against it, but I didn't know if we wanted to find someone who would volunteer for that.
How did Sugar Strands do during the fourth?
I didn't go like Seaver type a lot, but I think she stayed busy.
Yeah, she was, there was a lot.
I mean, I just looked at it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
She's committed to doing what we've asked a couple times, so.
Maybe ask her what she'll charge for the 12 to, you said 12 to 8?
Yeah.
So we're good.
I was gonna say she doesn't have to start at noon.
Yeah. You know, maybe like 2 to 8 or 3 to 8.
What time's all these and stuff?
I do like 2 to
Well,
5.
with the performance, the early performance starting
I
up.
think I do like 2 to 5 or.
So I would do sometime just a little bit before that starts, once it gets started, that will.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of when she was really busy at school.
Yeah, I know, especially like later, is when they get busier. The only thing about her coming in later is like she'd have to like all that set up her stuff while people are there.
Or she could set up her, I mean, she
She
could
can come
come.
there, just don't open up until.
Yeah. Okay, and then I do plan on having a beer garden. I know Bobby's talked to, what do I always forget his name? Jared. The Millers, yes. They're gonna serve, the alcohol. I do need to follow up with him, 'cause it's been a while since we've reached out. The only thing I still need to figure out is if we will have like an actual enclosed beer garden, like, where it's like fenced in, like within Tripton, or if we can do some sort of perimeter where it's like a certain part of Tripton that you can carry your alcohol.
I will say, like St. Mary's, it is fenced in.
Well, yeah, it technically is fenced in, but like all of,
Correct.
they're all in like the same space, like 9%.
But it has to, it's gonna have to
Well,
be fenced in.
unless it's in, it'll have to be fenced.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
so
something
or
about
something, I don't know if Tripton's part of that,
But it's not, but,
or that they pass.
I need to look into it basically to see.
if you have to rent fence or
I don't
put up
think
snow fence,
We have snow fence stuff.
you just have to make it a smaller area around like the state or something.
I don't think that's an issue.
But unless it's in that area, unless Tripton's included in that. What you said, Dora?
I don't know what that is.
It allows you to have open container for like Main Street events. So it's some type of,
It's a thing that the city council passes, like a certain area where you can have. You would go.
but I think it has to go up through the state.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah,
it's just
I have to
like,
go to the state, and then like if one of the restaurants downtown, you want to migrate from one restaurant to another, you have to have their logo on the cup, so that they validate it, it's not something that you can draw. Yeah, so there are a lot of ifs and buts about it, so.
Well, I'll figure more out with that. I do plan on talking to Autumn about that too, and just how they figured that out for the street, so. And then like for like basically like the decor of the event, I want to set up a photo op area of like an old tractor with like mums and pumpkins and very like fall country theme. So I have a couple names in mind of people I want to ask. I know Hannah Webster, our intern, has connections to Pumpkin and Footsy, so I'm going to talk with her about that as well. And I didn't know if we wanted a specific banner made or if this event would just like we have created a logo for the event, but I know we also talked about like having a banner of all of our sponsors.
Recognizing all of our sponsors throughout the year.
Yeah.
All of our brand that everyone can see as a.
Yeah, so there might be a couple banners, but like I said, I think we'll be good budget-wise to get anything we need for that, so. And then in the kids zone area, I would like to get a bounce house, and then like fall themed games with like pumpkins. So I couldn't remember the place of that farm that he got pumpkins from last year. Do you remember what that was? I have to look back.
Last time.
Anyways, I think we'll be able to get like hundreds of pumpkins if we need them from them. And then the other thing for that event that I want to do were the hay rides around a certain loop of Tripton. I did check with Tim on the loop that I want to do it on, and he said as long as it's not 90 degrees outside, it should be fine, because that is something, I don't know. And I was going to get with either Ramirez or Bingham's about getting like a tractor and trailer and have them kind of do the hay rides. So.
You probably should, especially at the bounce house. You may have to have a special event policy, or maybe in a hayride, because you have to find out if that's included within the city's umbrella, liability umbrella. You may have to have, for those things, you may have to buy a special event policy.
Because you're not gonna want O'Mara's or Bingham's to volunteer their stuff and then have to carry
Yeah.
policy.
Yeah.
And then if you talk to
And honestly,
the carpet and
for an event policy, you're probably looking, off the top of my head, probably like $600, $700. Because it's a municipality. You go get like a wedding event, it's like $275.
Yeah.
But for this, with the bounce house and it being a municipality, then maybe some. Probably need to talk to the city's insurance. So just to verify that you're within what they'll cover.
and then if
I
you
know
talk
I
to
have not yet, but I am going to talk. Call, text me, and so.
I don't think you'll have an issue, but I just don't wanna plan this event and be like,
Yeah, right. So. Yeah, that's all I got. You guys have any questions? Comments?
Park items?
I was just gonna do you guys on the playground, waiting on Duke to move the ball, and then we'll work on the base work, and then it should happen really quick once all that stuff's happening. I know they're I'm getting ready to build the equipment to the core playground, but, so we'll see timing wise of their installation, but that's where we're at right now. So all is still a go. I just know that there's not been any dirt movement yet, but we've got to wait on a couple other things. The only other new fall project that I put on here that I want to have, or get in the works is, you guys saw the estimate for the lightning detection system. And, I just think it's really important that we have kind of a centrally located, that way when soccer's going on one side, it serves soccer, and then you have the pool, and so kind of centrally located between those 3 points on the property. Likely, it could potentially just look like you still don't need power wherever they're at, so it could look like, maybe even like the farmer's market shelter house, or somewhere around the pickleball courts where they would stand, that would be installed. So you'll see the price there for that. It's not a cheap thing, but it's something I think it's
Public safety.
yes.
I think I wouldn't be afraid to ask Tiff to pony in some money.
Is it one of those?
Worst they tell us is no.
I think I can also speak to that. I said Shepherd, the emergency management director, that I think they could potentially help me out with. Yeah, so I have not reached out to him. Actually, I do have his contact actually. So talk to him about what the if there's any resources there that could potentially help us out as well. But definitely identified it as a need through this year. So not relying on either someone seeing it or an app on the phone, but actually dedicated to our space.
We have enough people coming through our park that
Well, it eliminates judgment calls.
Right.
Because if somebody's looking on the weather app, they're like, I think we are, no. This just creates a policy, you have a 30-minute detection, wait period, it reactivates.
I think there's something else important to notice too, that like, because we've had some people talk about whether there's lightning in the area, and this detection system detects actual lightning, where there can be some anomalies in the air that some apps and stuff show as lightning, it's not actually lightning or things like that too. So the unit that you see, the estimate for, its sole purpose is to detect lightning, so.
Yeah, I think,
And severe weather.
Need to make a motion?
yeah, and then I just say, if nobody else will fund it, I think we just need to fund money in the budget, fund it.
I'll make a motion.
Sorry. All in favor? All opposed? For it. So see what we can get, if we can get money, get it, if not, we just need to fund the budget, fund it.
And I just have other there in case there are things that, I know we've talked about several things throughout the year, and not all of them have happened, but
No, go ahead.
I just read some stuff about some major electrical upgrades that's gonna need to be done.
so this, I
Aquaplex.
don't remember what meeting I brought that up in, but I said when everything's done for the year, we are gonna have to figure out, because we lost a whole leg of power on a quadplex several weeks ago. So everything's running now, but there's a break in the wire directly under the backstop of a field. So everything's running on what it is, but it's not right. So there's a couple different options and ways to fix it, but I think that what makes the most sense is there could potentially be a kind of a grid of concrete cut out and a directional board under all the way to the grass area, junction box put in there where it's ties back in. So, no, we're not even going to have, quotes of what that looks like at this point, but just something to be prepared for.
So are we limping on, are we just limping by right now, or?
So I'm not an electrician, but it's worked now for, how many weeks, but 5 weeks. Yeah, 5 weeks.
But we don't have full power.
Everything's running,
It was a temporary
but
fix,
it's a
right?
temporary, yeah.
So
It's
we have a fix, but it's.
not fixed right forever. It's not fixed right, we'll put it that way.
Okay. So I would say probably.
For the long term, I shouldn't say not fixed right. It's not fixed for the long term because we weren't doing that part of the
Then start the process of seeing what it would cost to get it.
Yeah, so I've already talked to people about coming to quote it. I just don't have any for the number back to that. So just something to be prepared because it's going to have to be done no matter what the solution is. So, and I've only talked with one company about what potentially that solution could be. So, but yes, I don't know. I mean, it's not as major as what we just did around the playground area, but it is from a standpoint, cut it out, directional more.
It's gonna be an expensive fix.
Yeah.
Anytime you're tearing out concrete, directional bore,
And reform.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be the best looking concrete in the whole place.
If we're limping by now, it has to be fixed.
It needs to be fixed this fall or first thing in the spring.
Can you run baseball, and softball this fall before, with it not fixed?
Well, I mean, it's going to shut down at some point, but I don't want to have a big hole there and run anything in waterflood, so to me, I don't want to do it.
So it's a November fix. November, early December for next.
Yeah, or, before things fire up, either way, but preferably before.
Well, I think we got tournaments starting in March, so we really need to get quoted and ready for fall, as soon as fall.
How many are there in the fall? I mean, we'll have some fall tournaments, right, Carl?
Yeah,
Levy, probably, 2 in October, probably, maybe 1 in, September, maybe last year.
Nothing after October?
Not after October, no.
I just,
So there's.
so we need to get some quotes and get it ready for
November first.
the first of November.
Because they haven't, they're gonna fix the concrete in November.
Yeah, I just read it and I was just wondering about it.
I got a couple things. Since we slowed down now, we approved that money for Roger. Can we go on and make the process to go and get the work behind cast center done? And then the lake over by cast center. Concrete.
You talking about,
Water.
you're talking about the farm department.
Yes.
Work behind cast center.
The drain, where does it drain? In the rock.
Where people park with
Yes.
the wall, that area.
That's the second one.
Oh, that's the
Yeah,
second.
There's a little drain on the back of Cascade that's been plugged for,
Yeah.
probably since I was a kid.
It's been cleared 3 or 4 times since.
So it's still holds
Since we
water.
started last year, but it plugs
Still
to
holds
medium
water,
water.
Yeah, so. Good. I thought we had a quote that approved,
Yeah, I was gonna
quote
say,
from
we
Roger.
talked about this.
But I
I haven't go ahead and
think,
fix it, now it's just,
I think Bobby kind of wanted to wait till these tournaments got done, and now since we're moving forward, there's not a whole lot of tournaments.
Yeah,
Now
we
we
can
can
tear
move
that
forward
over
to-
treatment.
Yes.
But
That's
also, I think you had a bigger project too in mind, right? That could alleviate.
Not that, though.
Okay.
It's the rest of the drainage. too.
you're talking more of the drainage out in the grass field.
That's gonna be a pretty good substantial cost. So these are 3 separate projects, right?
2 of which are already approved.
Which has already been approved, yeah.
2 of them have already been approved.
Yeah, that's been approved, and I think the gate was approved, correct?
Did you ever hear back from them, the gate company?
No.
Really?
That's 2.
That's, oh, you're on the second gate. Cocaine cake dance and it.
Is it just not a big enough project for them to come? I mean,
I don't.
Nick, you don't hear from them, I know the owner, so. I know, you know, I have a family. Not their father.
One other thing on a side note, I've been walking the trail, and I know they've been doing the best to get the geese.
I don't think that's-
Or whatever, but is there any other solution that we can get other than, I mean,
have we ever looked at a swan decoy? You go buy swan decoys and put them on.
You get a little swamp, you have
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So I tried a treatment and had a pest control company do a treatment for these, and it did not work.
are we talking about at the city park or?
Tripping. I know a lot of people put a swan decoy in that pond, and it keeps geese away. Probably buy a couple decoys for $150.
Have you seen the fox or coyote decoys?
Well, we've had those.
Those don't work very well.
Not unless you're gonna like move them every couple hours. So.
It's the mechanical swans. Slow float.
Just let the top water dark.
Well, that's the other thing, is let these guys go out and start playing. I don't think you can call their Canadian geese, I think they're.
I think we get permission.
I know that was a conversation 3 or 4 years ago, that they were going to look into that and
It was fairly recent, and it was a no.
Yeah.
It was a no-go. I talked to them
From the conservation.
about shutting it down for control,
Yeah.
and it was a no.
I do have something that got brought up to me on the 4th of July. Rachel Watts with Imagination Graphics Daycare. She is wanting to donate baby changing stations for the bathrooms at the city park. Because I believe, to my understanding, there is only one in the women's bathroom in the complex.
There's one in the
It's
new
like after she said that, I don't even look.
There's one.
Yeah.
Well,
Is there
those
one
are
in
the
the new
only,
bathroom?
those are the only
So
bathrooms that
that's
have
what
them.
I'm not sure about. I have not looked into
You talking about pickleball?
I'm not sure.
There are not any in there. And there's not any in the
Someone wants to
bathroom
donate them,
by Shelter House One.
you have any issue?
No, someone else doing it.
Yeah.
Power to them.
So I can reach out to her. I think that would be a great addition to our program.
The only other thing I have, I've had a couple people reach out to me. They having problems keeping stock in concessions in the pool.
I don't think so.
Well, at the beginning of the year, there may have been an order missed.
Okay.
That's the first us.
I had a couple people that reached out saying that there were some things that were out. And then someone asked about the lifeguard, some of the lifeguards and the pool manager about splash pad hours. They did not know what they were. So,
The lifeguards and the pool managers didn't know what
yeah,
this
they didn't know what
was.
splash pad. Are they posted?
They're on our city website, they've been posted on it.
There's not a sign at the pool though.
Yeah, that we don't have signage at the pool.
But that's in the secrets.
I mean, you print a piece of paper and like take it to the window.
I don't think we have a sign, but
Yeah.
I don't think gate is one.
Yeah.
Where did the, whole, logo thing go?
There's an RFP that's gonna get sent out to 3 different companies. As soon as the dates are finalized and what meeting they're gonna be open at, those sorts of things. So, I just updated it for all of our details of our park properties and something, so the designers have an idea of history, what goes on in each park and that sort of thing.
And then I'm sure budgets are coming up soon.
We had a first preliminary meeting, and I'm actually waiting on how Charlie wants it presented, so I want, like, how he wants it presented, whether it's line items, he's gonna provide that for me.
I know Carl's kind of beat on this horse a little bit, but I did do a drive-by on the golf cart by the main park. I think it does need a little love.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we really need to talk about addressing, even if it's, take some down on the burger for $10,000-$15,000, I think we go a long way over there.
And I wouldn't have a problem with Bobby, you and me and Josh going over there and kind of see what we can do, what kind of money we can spend. And I don't know even if we can go over there, you know, straighten it down ourselves, paint it, do whatever, save a little bit of money, but I think we need some swings and a couple goals.
Yeah, I don't know if those posts over there with the bolt pattern on them would work with a more modern backboard or not. You know, or something we could fabricate, attach, or buy. But I think you just, those posts are pretty solid, it seems like. I think you just clean them up and paint them and then figure out a way to attach a little more modern backboard and go around.
Are they square around?
They're
I
around.
think it's round, it's
Yeah,
got,
around,
it's
it's
got
got
mountain blades.
big
It's got a square mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's like the chains on the swings around the swing set gets staying painted and just, it's not gonna take a lot. Well, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things, and have that one inspected, and that old slide, that thing looks like it's. But one thing I would suggest is like around that slide is some rubber mulch, because it's just a mud pit going up to it. You know, I think just a little bit would go a long way over there. When the paint park's busy, there's some people when they know it's been spruced out. We're gonna get some stuff out there in the world that has been spruced out that you might see a lot more usage. But
I know you talked about tearing that horseshoe bit down, but can any of that fence there, if any of that fence is bad over there, can we use any of that fence there to put over there?
It's different size.
To that size. Oh.
most of the fencing didn't look bad over there, it's just old rusty. There's a
We
little
can
bit,
get new mesh and put
Yeah.
that,
yeah.
put new chain link along it, but yeah, the horseshoe pit size is like 3.5 foot, over at the mini park.
It's probably 6, 7 foot, yeah. I mean, it is bowing some, but it's not terrible.
Right.
But I just think, I mean, there's some nice landscaping around the water tower and stuff that's been done. You know, it looks well maintained as far as the grass goes, but just the facilities that they're able to love. And I think it's something, I know Carl's mentioned it several times, but I just drove over there down the cart, give this thing a little bit of attention.
Sure.
Anything else? Back to the meeting minutes.
Oh,
Someone make a, did they ever get passed? Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, someone make a motion to approve the previous month's meeting minutes. Carl first,
Second.
Joe second, all in favor? Aye. 4-0. Claims are approved. Anybody have anything else? Someone make a motion to adjourn the meeting.